Good afternoon, good morning, and welcome to to the Intellectual Idiot Show. This is your host, Max Hoffman, and your co-host, Michael Krupo. RIP to Tyler for this evening. Got caught up in the moving process, helping out Mel move from apartment to apartment. And I'm going to Colorado tomorrow, and Tyler's going camping this weekend, right? Not you.
Tyler's going camping. You're going to Colorado, and I'm going to be holding the fort down.
And you're going to be holding the fort down. So we're sending an episode, and we will be on time, and we will be releasing it on Monday morning, and we will be good to go.
Yeah, happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah, well, happy Monday to when the Monday listeners are out and about. But anyway, we got a fun-packed episode, starting with gas station drink of the day. And then Mike and I are going to move back and forth. I mean, we got Tyler's the states are at the end, but me and Mike are going to bounce back and forth because we are missing a member of our squad. So we're going to be talking about our least favorite states that we've visited. Right, Mike?
Yes. Oh, favorite or worst places that we visited. I've got a couple of stories to tell you, and I'm sure you've got a couple stories to tell me there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we're ending it out with a little bit of a new segment, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So top 5 will be back, but it'll be gone for a little bit of time. But it will be back, guaranteed. All right, Mike, lead us in. What do we got?
Heck yeah, fellas. So today I was just on a little bike ride in beautiful West Dallas, Wisconsin, and
Beautiful West Dallas, Wisconsin.
Decided to stop at my local Speedway gas station. I actually had somebody outside of the gas station to preface. He just started talking about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to me for about 10 minutes. So I was really
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Love that. Love that stuff. Amen. And drink I've never seen before. Looks pretty tasty. It's called Aguas Frescas. It's by the brand Minute Maid, and it's a beverage. It's a hibiscus flavor.
I'll tell you what, Mike. I mean, not a lot when I'm out and about am I seeing hibiscus flavors of drinks.
No, because like the hibiscus plant, right? It's like one of those tropical looking plants. I don't know if you know, but I would sell a lot of them at Stein's Gardens and Gifts when I worked there. And I never really thought about that being like a flavor. It's like
I forgot that point in your life. I forgot that point in your life when you hit your low and you were picking tomatoes out in the garden at Stein's Gardens and Gifts. Shout out to Stein's. But you got employee of the year. When you got a guy that's not shooting for a lot, he ends up being a employee of the year at Stein's. Tough look.
I'll open up this beverage, but I just remember when I was working at Stein's, at the time I think I was about 18 years old, going into my freshman year of college. And I had zero knowledge of botany and like botanical gardens knowledge. But literally every day I would get like multiple people coming up to me asking them like, how should I plan my garden? What type of plants and flowers should I put in there? I'm just like, I don't know. I think these guys would do pretty well over there, and some other guys would do pretty well over there. And shade, sun loving plants. I don't know. So I probably killed about 20 different gardens that summer. But let's skip to this drink. Get ready for some ASMR, whatever the frick that noise stuff is called.
ASMR.
That splattered on my laptop.
Wow, that's what she said.
That's not what you like to see. All right, so here we go. First sip of Minute Maid brand Aguas Frescas, hibiscus flavored. Oh, that is quite bland.
Oh,
it's got a very odd aftertaste. It's not fizzy, which I can appreciate. I'm not a carbonation guy. I have lemonade to like compare it to like flavor level. There's just so much more taste with the lemonade that I have from Minute Maid.
Yeah.
So honestly, if I had to rate this out of 10, the aguas frescas hibiscus flavored. It's something that I would not even. I would rather be drinking water. So I'm giving this a 3.7 out of 10. I'm sorry, Minute Maid. You can do better. I mean, it's hibiscus. That's a tough flavor. So
I
what
feel
about
like
you?
lemonades for me are so sweet that like I just can't drink them. It's like their lemonade is like so sweet. Have you ever had that or no?
Oh yeah, I was literally drinking their lemonade like a half hour ago. But this stuff is just not a whole lot going on with the taste buds. It might just be the hibiscus flavor though, because
What'd you give it, Mike? Again?
3.7 out of 10. Not
Ooh,
not
tough.
great. I'll give it like one more sip. But what do you got lined
All
up?
right, let's move on to the king.
Oh, oh, that is not a. You can buy that at any grocery store.
It's a unique drink.
What is it?
It's a Coca-Cola coffee.
Oh wow, I didn't see that at Pick and Save or Walmart or Sendix.
Whatever. I've never had it before, and I'm sure a lot of
Coca-Cola
people have.
coffee. That is just. It doesn't seem like it would sit well for a lot of people.
So it's Coca-Cola vanilla coffee, and put in a
Oh, beautiful pour by Max Hoffman.
really don't know what we're gonna get here. I don't really know about this. I'm a little bit nervous about it.
I think I know what you're gonna get. I think you're gonna get a combination of Coca-Cola and coffee.
You're a genius. All right, I got a lot of foam here at the top. No, I did. That was foam. Fizz. That's really weird. It's like it basically tastes like a coffee seltzer. Like it's like the enriched coffee taste, like with the Coke, and then it's bubbly, so it just kind of tastes like a coffee seltzer. It's kind of weird.
Can you taste
I don't.
any like Coke in it?
Yeah, I can taste a little hint of Coke, but it almost just makes the coffee taste sweeter. It just kind of tastes like a coffee, like an actual coffee seltzer. It's kind of weird.
Fizzy coffee. Maybe that's the future. Maybe that's gonna die out within the next like week. We'll see.
Yeah. Huh. We'll see about that. You still can't drink any
How
food,
would
though.
you rate that out of 10 though?
I kind of like it. Um, I'm gonna give this a 7.4 out of 10.
Wow, that's pretty high.
I like it. The concoction works. I'm a fan. I'm a believer.
Okay.
All right. Mike, lead us on. Lead us on. I'll follow your lead here. I'll follow
All
your
right,
lead.
here we go. So now that we just finished
Talk to me.
now that we just finished our beautiful beverage reviews, let's go on to our next segment. Max and I are going to do some chit-chatting about the worst places we've ever visited. For me, this is usually going to be like a city. I'm assuming of some sort. I guess it could be somewhere out in nature if you had a really bad experience. But I got some really interesting places in the good old US of A that if you guys hear about, you may as well just cross it off your checklist of a place to never visit.
Oh boy.
And I'm going to start off. Number one is going to be the city of Asheville, North Carolina.
I've been there too, dude.
You have?
Yes, I have.
So, Asheville, North Carolina, for the audience out there, it is pretty much, if you are from the Wisconsin area, it's like a rundown Waukesha. The town's less than 100,000 people, and like the only reason why people visit it is because they need somewhere to stay while they're hiking, like in the Smoky Mountains area. It's beautiful, Smoky Mountains. The surrounding area of Asheville is beautiful, but the city itself is an absolute dump. My favorite part is that they have like a pig statue downtown. And anytime I visit it, I like to take a picture by the pig statue. But I got to tell you a story, Max, about the first time I visited. I was staying at a hotel in Asheville called the Roadway Inn. And it was probably the sketchiest hotel that I've ever been in. like the entire time I was staying there was always some homeless person just trying to break into the hotel. The front desk person would have to like fend them off. And like the downtown area was just like no one's there. They got like one coffee shop and like a hipster store that says like keep Asheville weird. But
I did a ghost tour in Asheville.
oh god, there's got to be ghosts there. You did?
Yeah, I did. It was actually kind of fun, but Asheville itself, I don't remember being very good. I remember that night we had to get dinner there, and I
That's the
went to
thing.
a
It's a
very
very non-memorable kind of place. Half the restaurants were like closed when I went there, and this is like on a Saturday.
well. I got a very subpar pizza there, like
Oh yeah,
it tasted really bad.
you hate to see it, but
You hate to see it.
Asheville, it's just you know, I'll go there just to get a picture next to my pig statue downtown. That's pretty much the only reason why I'd ever want to go there. But what about you? What's a
By
city?
the way, before I forget, I
Oh,
have to make a shout out to Preston Smith.
Packer?
So Brad Smith is one of my friends, and one of our biggest customers at Complex Security, and his son is very young, I think 3 or 4. Sorry, Brad, if I'm wrong, but he listens to the pod.
A 3 or 4 year old listens to our podcast.
Well, Brad's son, Preston, listens to the pod, and he wants me to shout him out, so I'm shouting out Preston Smith.
And he's 3 or 4 years old.
Yes.
So that's our target audience, under 18-year-olds.
No.
We're kid friendly.
No, but he's watching right now, and I'm giving him a shout out. So thank you for recognizing.
Wow, that's beautiful. How about you just go on to the city that you hated a lot?
But anyway, no, my favorite city, or no, my least favorite city, I should say. It's got my favorite city. No,
So let's start. Hey, guy, right now, I'll cut it when I hear the clap.
My least favorite city, honestly, that I've been to. I mean, we have to look at our own, like in our own backyard.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you right now, Kenosha is terrible. Kenosha and Racine. They're like right next.
Racine is depressing.
I'll go with Racine. It's just so bad. So unbelievably bad. I mean, it's right here in Wisconsin, but it's right by like the border of Illinois. So it's like you go right through Racine. The first city you go into is actually technically Kenosha is lower than Racine, right? So I think the first city you go to is Kenosha, and then Racine. It's like a horrible way to greet Wisconsin. But obviously, honestly, too, in the last couple of years, the riots happened in Kenosha and whatnot. Just not a very great place to be or be around. Racine and Kenosha. That's my cities to start.
Something about like southern Wisconsin, because I personally have never really visited like Janesville, Wisconsin and Beloit, Wisconsin, but I've heard those are absolute like dumpster fires, even by people who like grew up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Beloit is not great. I will tell you that right now. Like, yeah, no, it's like Racine and Kenosha too. They give you this like feel like it's just like, ugh, like when you got to go down there, you're just like, oh my god. I guarantee you that's your reaction every time you ever have to go down Racine. It's like, oh god, gotta go to Racine. I feel like, oh, me too. I feel like all the time, like in high school too, Mike, me and you, every single game we played, we were going to Racine.
Yeah, we're going to Horlick Field just to get dominated by some sort of St. Catherine's or whatever football team.
Yeah, when me and Mike played football together in high school, and literally all of our entire conference was in Racine and Kenosha, pretty much. It's like, why? But whatever. And we'd always have to go down there and just get absolutely pummeled.
And it would smell. No, here's the thing. So my dad used to work in Racine for like most of his adult life. And there's I don't know if it's like Sturdivant or what city down there, but they grow a bunch of cabbage. And like cabbage is just not a very nice smelling vegetable in the farms. And when you have to like make a commute every day and smell cabbage growing in your field, not the best commute. So I know that's right around Racine, Kenosha area. So probably smells in the outer area as well. So you hate to see it.
Yeah, you just really, really hate to see it. I don't know if you've ever been, but like, I know you have been, Michael. Never mind, that was stupid. But one of my least favorite cities out there and get ready, brace. I'm sorry, whoever I offend, but Chicago.
Ooh, like the South
I,
Side specifically.
dude, Chicago is like once in a while, like I feel like you go to Chicago and you're just like, oh my God. Like it at first when you the first couple of times you go, you're like, oh, okay, like it's Chicago. This is really cool. There's a lot of stuff here. But then like when you start going to Chicago more and more often, especially like after you do it like the first time, it's like, oh, I gotta go down to Chicago. Like it, or it's just an inconvenience of traffic through where you need to
Yeah.
go. That I just don't like Chicago very much. And I feel like their fans suck so much in all the sports, like all the way around. Cubs fans are the worst.
You
The
know
worst.
what's interesting? Like us boys, Wisconsin boys, like we don't even have a hockey team. For some reason I just hate Blackhawks fans. Like, and I have no reason to hate against them. Like there's not like a competition or a rivalry that I have, but it's just like, oh, look at you, you're a Blackhawks fan living in the mid 2000s. I know they've been sucking the last couple of years, but it's just like for some reason I'm just like, look at you, Blackhawks. It's pretty racist if you ask me, but we'll see
Yeah.
how they keep that name. In all honesty, I don't know how much longer they're going to keep that. So, but Chicago, that's yeah, I could see you getting pretty sick of it pretty quickly after you might flick the bean once and have that be a highlight of your
Like
trip.
the bean.
Um, I know this is a quick mention, but I'll divulge a little bit longer on my next one. But South Bend, Indiana, visited there. I know a couple months ago where former Mayor Pete Big Booty Buttigieg used to be. That is just an absolute dumpster fire. You go through like one main drag of town, past a couple McDonald's, and that's South Bend. Um, the one redeeming factor they have, I suppose, is University of Notre Dame, but that's like its own separate area in all honesty. But um here's one I want to quick bring up is, have you ever been to San Francisco?
I have never been to San Francisco. No.
I just I visited San Francisco probably about 12 years ago or so. I was still a kid. And it's a cool experience. You get to see the pier, you get to see Alcatraz Island, the big, what are those redwood trees and everything like that, sequoia trees and the Golden Gate Bridge. But I would hate to live in San Francisco. A couple of the things that I saw like on a daily basis there, just shit on the sidewalk. Like when people just poop on the sidewalk, multiple homeless people like fights going on like in the downtown area. There's an area called the Tenderloin there, which you want to avoid because nothing against homeless people, but it's just dirty, scummy, crummy, and you're literally living on top of another person there. The houses are just so close together and the cost of living is just so high there. I would never want to live there for like more than visiting a week. So nothing against the people of San Francisco, but it's just I would just hate to live there. Like if I need to avoid stepping on shit on a daily basis, if I'm trying to go for a walk or a run, I'm not going to want to live in that city. So
Yeah, that's a great one. I think another one for me, it's like hard to like put this into exact words of like what the exact place is, but in Florida, like I have been through some really, really, really shitty parts of Florida. I feel like it's basically just getting from like point A to point B, but like places I've actually been, I can't speak necessarily to Louisiana yet or anything like that or Mississippi, but like basically any place I've been to in Florida, getting from like one destination place to the next destination place, it's all just like moist, humid, disgusting, humid, awful, just swampy shit.
I feel like people forget like how large the panhandle of Florida is because you can drive from, say, you're driving from the Midwest, you can get down to the little Oh, that's the Panhandle. I meant peninsula, the peninsula of Florida. Good thing I have third grade geography term. You can drive down to like the state of Florida, where it's right by the border of Georgia and Mississippi, like in under 20 hours. But when you go down that peninsula, you forget that's like an extra 5 to 6 hours of driving. Like, hey, we made it to Florida. Oh, just kidding. We're like 2/3 the way through our trip. Like, we still have to drive through these just super long freeways, and in this hot and humid weather, it does suck. I agree with you. The traveling there, it's a lot longer than you think when you need to get
And
from
like
A to point B.
overall, like necessarily like when we go on to our next segment here, when we're talking about like our breakdown from 50 all the way down to 1 of our, states by beauty ranked 50 through 1. It was just like, oh, I totally forgot my train of thought.
You're talking about Florida and the traveling hot, humid, muggy.
Oh, yeah. Whatever I was saying about that.
Yeah, the temperatures can get pretty high there. Anyways, well, with your incomplete thought of Florida, I'm gonna wrap it up and give one more really just absolutely hellhole of a city that I've been in. Stick it in the Midwest. Uh, the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Now, I'm not talking about the nature or the beauty of the UP. They just have some hick ass towns up there. Particularly, I had a very weird experience in Iron River, Michigan. Not to be confused with Iron River, Wisconsin.
One of our listeners, Ben Morrow, lives up in UP. Ben Morrow was one of my shout out to Ben. He was one of my buddies from college. So.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks for sharing that information. But Iron River, Michigan, I stopped up there once on a weekend trip, and first of all, the town is like 500, 600 people, and there's one bar. I walk into the bar just for shits and giggles, like it was like right when I turned 21. And there's about 13 dudes, 13 dudes in the bar, just sitting there staring at me and like, what are you doing over here there? Or however the Uper accent sounds like. I take one shot, I get the hell out of there. It's just I'm pretty sure all those towns in there have so much incest going on too. Just I've heard unfortunate stories about everybody knows each other and everybody is probably banged at one point in time in those kind of towns in the UP. So
it's very disturbing.
But yeah, that wraps up my worst places I've been. I don't know if you have anything else.
I really don't. I mean, I would say actually, you know what? I do have one more that sticks out. Junior year, my choir tour, we went to Oklahoma. Oklahoma was one of the worst like places. I think it was what? No, we went to Oklahoma City, but like we went around downtown Oklahoma City, so it wasn't like anything weird. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember what this freaking place was. But whatever. It was like the highlight of the town was like this like brick wall that they painted red. And like it was like everything that was important. And I was like, what?
Huh. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Well, folks, let's move it on. We're gonna have a beautiful reoccurring segment going on for the next 5 episodes. And we are going to be ranking America's states based on their beauty. We're going to be starting from 50 to 1. And this week, we are going to be covering numbers 50 through 41. So the last 10. We tried to pick a couple good things from each of them, but it's probably going to be pretty self-explanatory when we state the state and its natural beauty that it has or lack of. And I'm going to be starting, I believe, and Max will be coming in a little bit later, and then I'll be picking Ty's picks because Ty was able to give us some descriptions on the states that he chose. So, without further ado, let's go. I can't find my phone.
Why did you bring the camera? on your nose.
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
We're having a great time. All right, folks. Welcome back. Number 50 on America's 50th most beautiful states is going to be Nebraska. I'm not sure if you guys have ever been to Nebraska before, but it's probably one of the most boring states that I've ever been in. It is extremely flat. It is susceptible to tornadoes, and they have just absolutely muggy summers and frigid winters. Couple redeeming qualities that they do have. They do have a beautiful natural landscape called Chimney Rock, which is pretty much just a 286-foot high, like rock stack in the sky. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of cool, I guess. But like, if that's your number one thing that you're promoting, I'm not really sure how much of a beautiful state that you have. The other thing that I do like about Nebraska is that they do have prairie dogs, and prairie dogs are my favorite animal. So that's a little pro bono. And the other thing that they do have is Omaha.
Omaha.
That's exactly why I wrote it down. I wrote down Omaha, Omaha. But yeah, other than that, Nebraska, sorry, you're just an extremely flat and boring state. Let's go to number 49. Not too far away from Nebraska. We're going to be sticking in the Midwest. Is going to be good old Kansas. I looked up biggest landmarks in Kansas, and one of them that popped up, like nothing that has to do with like nature and beauty at all, but they have the world's largest ball of twine. That's something that they're known for. They do have, when it comes to their nature and whatnot, they have a couple waterfalls. They have a rock formation called Castle Rock, but I'll be honest, I feel like half the states in the US have some sort of rock formation called Castle Rock. Like I know Wisconsin does. And then one other thing that I thought was pretty interesting is that they have the Syracuse sand dunes. It's like 1,300 acres of sand dunes for like recreational activity. And I don't know, that's kind of cool. Not every state says they can have that. And then one other dumb thing for Kansas, they're home to the first Pizza Hut. So,
are you serious?
yeah, I had no idea. And then obviously they have great barbecue. Have you ever had Kansas City like barbecue? That's like always a thing.
I have, yeah.
How it like people say it's like some of the best barbecue out there. Like, does it taste any different from like just Sweet Baby Ray's sauce or something? Or
Well, I mean, I think it tastes better. But again, I don't eat ribs a lot or like anything barbecue that much, really. I mean, once in a while I'll have it if it's there, but it's never something I'm like seeking out. Like, I don't have a lot of reference to it either. I don't have it a lot. If I go to a restaurant, I'm rarely gonna order like barbecue ribs or anything like that,
Fair. But yeah, that's Kansas, another pretty boring, somewhat flat state. That's number 49. Let's kick it off to number 48. That's going to be Indiana. So I'm not really sure if you've driven through Indiana. I don't know if it's I-90 or whatever it is, but it's just a very boring freeway that runs east and west. They got some gentle rolling hills. I'll give them that. But I mean, you're not helping yourself when you have Gary, Indiana located in your state for making an argument that you have a beautiful city. The one thing that I will say that could be a plus for them is that they do have the Indiana Dunes National Park. That's kind of like right off of, they got that little bit of Lake Michigan. I've never been there, but it sounds like it's a pretty cool place. But yeah, some hills, mainly flat. What's your kind of experience of Indiana? I know they got Indianapolis, but
I like legitimately, I really do like Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis has some really cool spots in it. But outside of Indianapolis, like nothing is important about Indiana at all.
Yeah, like
I drove to Indiana to get cash. That's it.
I looked up landmarks again, and if you have like great landmarks, like you think of Wisconsin, you think of like uh Devil's Lake, and you think of like Door County, like the peninsula, or just kind of like the Dells. On their landmarks, they had Victory Field. It's a minor ballpark stadium. Like if one of your landmarks is a minor league baseball team stadium, there's not a whole lot of beautiful things going on in your state. So, all right, that wraps up number 48, Indiana. Here comes number
You're
40.
only on 48.
I got one more, and then you have three, and then I got three again.
All right.
All right. Maybe the rest of the list will go a lot quicker, but I wanted to delve into the beauty. We got MISSI PPI, Mississippi, coming in at number 47. I guess the redeeming quality for Mississippi is that they have like the Gulf Coast beaches. Like there's a little part of Mississippi that does, have the Gulf Coast on the bottom of it for the Gulf of Mexico. But I don't know. I was just kind of taking a look at it. They got like some nature trails and trees where you could honestly find in almost every other state. They got a lot of extreme weather that happens in Mississippi, tornadoes, hurricanes, and they have a petrified forest where it's just a bunch of wood that's turned into stone. Like that was their most beautiful thing they have. So I can't say I've stayed in Mississippi for like longer than just driving through it, but not a whole lot of beautiful things going on there. So
It ain't great.
let's flip it to you, Max. Let's go with number 46. Who do we got?
All right. Ohio.
Oh God.
Ohio is on the list. It's not great. I'll tell you what, it wasn't a pleasant drive. Ohio is where I pick up the cashier. So that holds some meaning in my heart. So I'll always love Ohio for that. But outside of that, there's nothing good in Ohio. It's horrible. It's boring. When I drove all the way through Ohio to get cash, I saw nothing but like cornfields, and it smelled horrible. So yeah, Ohio, not great. Cincinnati is also a good part of Ohio, I guess. They got Cincinnati's
Yeah,
kind of cool.
Cleveland is by Lake Erie, but
Cleveland, yeah, Cleveland as
mean,
well. But outside of that, pretty depressing, pretty horrible. Moving on to the next one, Iowa.
oh God.
Is anybody else, or whenever you see Iowa, you just think Iowa Hawkeyes, like the college, and then nothing else about Iowa comes to mind?
Cedar Rapids. There was a movie
You
called
think of Cedar Rapids when you think of when you hear Iowa, you think of the Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, I drove through it when it was like negative 20 degrees outside.
When?
This past winter,
Doing what? What were you in Iowa?
I was driving out to Colorado to ski, and Iowa was just a very small state to drive through. Half their gas stations were shut down. And other than, okay, you have Dubuque, you have Cedar Rapids. Des Moines is their capital. I just can't think of anything else to do in Iowa. Like, I'd hate it. I'd hate living in Iowa. So Iowa, Max, that was a pretty interesting pick. Let's go on to the next one, number 44. What do you got?
Number 44, I have North Dakota. So on my way to Glacier, like when Haley and I took that trip out west, we had to drive through South Dakota on the way out, which, don't get me wrong,
Is right next to North Dakota.
South Dakota is horrible, but because all there is Custer State Park and the Badlands.
Yeah.
But Custer State Park is okay, and the Badlands is kind of cool. So like
they also have prairie dogs
to look forward to in South Dakota.
Yeah.
North Dakota, that like the back end of Montana outside of Glacier coming into North Dakota is so bad. North Dakota, There was nothing, like legitimately nothing but just straight plains. I almost went insane driving through North Dakota. Absolutely nothing. Not a whole lot to get excited for. There is a national park in North Dakota. I'm forgetting what the name of that was off the top of my head. But yeah, there was a national park in North Dakota that was kind of cool. But outside of that, nothing. And Carson is from the North Dakota State Bison.
They have the movie and TV show Fargo from North Dakota. Oh yeah. Oh, hey there over there, guy. Have you ever seen the movie Fargo?
No.
Oh, well, I guess it's not worth having a conversation on that then. But
Oh,
they kind of William H. Macy plays a guy and he talks like this, and I think this is a pretty accurate North Dakota accent.
all right. That sounded awesome.
So yeah, North Dakota
Gold
sounds
star.
pretty small. Sounds horrible. All right. Shall we move on to number 43? This is from our other host, Ty Jeske. Wasn't able to be here, but he had some notes. Let me know if you have any comments on it, Max. He decided number 43 is Louisiana. So, although that New Orleans deservedly gets most of the love, there's plenty to do in Louisiana outside of its cities. The fishing's great. The duck hunting is world class, and the airboat rides and alligator-infested cypress trees are not to be missed. But its position at the bottom of the Mississippi doesn't do its beaches or wetlands any favors. And when the highest natural point in the state is only twice as high as the Superdome, you're going to get stuck with a lot of scenery that ducks are in the best position to appreciate. Yeah, it's pretty tough. And I can't imagine hurricanes would ever treat Louisiana that well either.
Yeah, there's nothing special in Louisiana.
You ever been to New Orleans? I heard it's really dirty.
I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be able to take A, the smell, and B, the temp, like the humidity. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Too much.
Delta. All right. Number 42, we got
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
That was a good accent, Mike.
I got that from, I think, SNL. There was a guy who would act as New Jersey's governor or something like that. But New Jersey. All right. So even if New Jersey hadn't gone and covered the bulk of the state with jug handles and suburban sprawl, it still wouldn't be a stunner. But then it did go and litter the state with freeways, develop the beaches to the breaking point, and come down with a case of 114 Superfund sites. Oh, 114 Superfund sites, more than any other state. That said, if you can manage this.
Are you kidding me? 114.
That said,
you are an idiot.
If you can manage to escape the sprawl, many parts of the state are lovely with rolling hills and glacial lakes, nice beaches, and the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, a truly beautiful and underappreciated stretch of the earth that New Jersey shares with Pennsylvania. Wow, he's really talking these states up, Ty. Dude, I mean, he is our like nature kind of guy. So there's some beauty in New Jersey, Coney Island.
Jersey.
Did you ever watch Jersey Shore as a kid?
No.
Oh God. You know, like Snooki, does that name ring a bell?
No.
And Mike the Situation. You never watched Jersey Shore? Oh my God. All right. Well, we'll digress on that later. But folks, let's finally move on to our last state this week, number 41. And that is going to be
Oklahoma when the wind come crashing on the plains. Oklahoma.
Yes, Oklahoma. Max is correct. So here's Ty's description. A certain type of person could protest this low ranking because Oklahoma at least brings its share of variety. That panhandle stretches out and kisses New Mexico on the cheek.
Cheeky boy.
Do you know about the reason behind that panhandle of Oklahoma? I don't know all the exact details, but it
No,
has
it says more be more.
what? No, it has to do with like it was slavery related because due to that whatever Missouri Compromise, they picked like a latitudinal line where slavery would be illegal and legal.
Oh, I think I actually have heard of that.
And Texas, the reason why like Texas jets up there, they wanted to, I don't know, probably be a slave. No, they were part of the Union. Well, hell if I know. All I know is that little panhandle of Oklahoma has something to do with slavery. So you guys can look it up.
Thanks, thanks for painting all that intelligence on us.
I mean, we are the intellectual idiots. So
All
I think there's a
right.
kernel of truth behind that. Anyways, that panhandle stretches out and kisses New Mexico on the cheek. The southern edge is perfect for reading Larry McMurtry scenes. Who the hell is Larry McMurtry?
Tyler is so stupid that he thought anybody would care about any of this.
At the eastern edge along Arkansas border is a surprisingly diverse mix of electric green hills
Whoa.
and jungly mid-American.
Whoa.
Oh, suffice it to say that Oklahoma is probably prettier than you expect.
Who does Tyler think he is? Shakespeare?
But then again, your expectations were low for a reason.
That was that I just lost like
I think Ty should be a poet. That is just that
Ty
makes
should
me want to
be
visit all the
ranger.
states that he visited or listed.
Ty should be a park ranger.
Well, folks, that's states 50 through 41. So next week we'll take you on the adventure of states 40 through 31. Hopefully there's going to be a little bit more beauty involved in these states because that's what we're ranking them based on.
Yeah.
Max, you got anything else for the viewers?
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts because we are available on all platforms moving forward. But we thank you for listening. And we're going to keep dropping content on you week after week. So, in honor of Tyler, Michael,
Pot out.
pot out.